All right, more about having babies. So one really important movement we need is movement in our pelvic floor, right? And so I wanted to talk about squatting because squatting is that is the ultimate movement to get load and downward mobility in our pelvic floor without pressure. Oh my gosh, there's so much to talk about with that, but so it's really hard for some of us to get into a full squat. And what I want you to feel is when you lay down on the floor, if I don't lay flat, if I try to get my torso flat, my knees pop up a bit. And so that tells me I have some tension in my middle that pops my knees up. So I can come up here and my legs go flat, and then I come down and my knees come up, right? So let's deal with some of that tension. I want you to anchor one leg fully down on the floor. So it's flat, it stays flat on the floor. Too long for my screen. All right, and then I want you to pull one knee in. And what our tendency to do is, put this under my head because my head wants to flop back. Okay, our tendency is to pull this knee in and then let the other knee come with it. So see how my knees are like attached. It's like a right? But I don't want that to happen because as soon as that happens, my lower back rounds. And then I'm just training this rounded lower back, this tucked pelvis with my exercise. So I want you to keep the long leg anchored to the ground. I want you to keep a curve in your lower back and then see what kind of knee flexion and hip flexion you can get, right? And I'm pulling it. I know sometimes we say, yeah, pull your knee like to your underarm or wide, but I want you to pull it straight in because I want you to be training yourself in the channel that you would stand on, that you would walk on, that you would squat in. When you move throughout your day normally. All right, let's try the other leg. So I'm anchoring the back of the leg to the floor. I'm just noticing, actually before I do that, I'm noticing the point which my moving knee takes my other leg with me, which really is just taking my spine with me and putting the movement in my spine, which not ideal. We want the movement to come from our big joints. There. So if I can anchor this leg down, then I can pull and work this knee. And yeah, you can take it across and open. You can move it around, but really I want you to work in its channel, straight in. You might have to work around some of the ligaments in your hips. There. All right, so then let's go to the original side again. And then what I want you to work towards is a lunge, right? And actually, I actually am not there, right? I can't reach my foot. I could reach way up and get it. Actually, that's all right. But I'm a little bit twisted and there's a lot of tension there. And I know as you get pregnant, you don't necessarily want to be on your back so much. So the answer there would be to come into a lunge, right? So you can come here, get space between. We have a tendency to be way up here and then there's not much happening. But I want you to stretch that front leg out and then come into it here. And I'm going to switch sides. And can you see how we're working on hip flexion, knee flexion? We're working on parts that will get us into our lunge. I'm sorry, into our squat. Okay, let's call it good on that too. So, be well,
do good work. Keep in touch.